If you're not willing to go in there and face yourself, you're not gonna find anything. You're gonna live right here on surface, man, right here on surface. So if there is an ending to this world and there is somewhere to go and there's a judgment, you're gonna get there and you might see a chart. And that chart may tell you who the fuck you should have been. And now you get the rest of your life to think about that. Man, I could have lived a much better life if I just would have just suffered a little bit more. If I just would have went in that and realized I had so much more. But fear and the 40% and living here versus living here, being afraid, stop me. Your biggest enemy, the most important conversation you will ever have in your life is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it. Eventually, you're going to act on it, whether you're good or bad. You have to. That's why the whole thing about this book I have, it's about you. It is about you. It's strictly about you finding who you are. So many people die, live 100 years, never fucking know who they are. Never know who they are. You have to look in that mirror and know there's so much more in here, man. Because I can literally right now be a 300-pound guy spraying for cockroaches still to this day. If I did not look in that mirror and say, there has to be more to this. This can't be it. And then willing to go into it, dive deep into it, and give all I have to find it. So that's what all that's about. Let's say there's 10 people in this room, and we're all mediocre. But I'm the best of the mediocre people. I now think I'm great. I'm great. We surround ourselves around people that make us feel great. They tell us what we want to hear. The second we put ourselves amongst the uncommon people, we don't like that feeling, that challenge and feeling of that person who's waking up at 3:30 in the morning and say, hey, push, we're going for a run. We don't like that challenge. We like that person who says, hey, you know what, man, I don't feel good today, man. And they say, oh, it's okay, brother. Take a day off, man. We'll get a pizza and watch the game. We like that. We love that feeling. Why? Because you understand, man, we're good, bro. We don't want that motherfuckers like this. Hey, man, no, bro. Get your shit on, man. Stop being a punk. We don't want that in our lives. We don't want that person who's constantly challenging our weaknesses. We want that person who's constantly, making us feel nice and good and secure in ours. That's the mediocrity of life. We want to be the best amongst the average people. People wonder, how do you stay hungry all the time? Because after I accomplish something, I don't sit back like a lot of guys who graduate buzz, graduate this, graduate that. They get comfortable. They wonder why I'm getting weak, man. I don't know, I lost my edge. What's going on? Because once you hit the top of the mountain, guess what happened? I'm good. I'm good. So you wonder why you're falling down now. Because once you reach the top of the mountain, you got to build up another one. That's mediocrity. There's a lot of people in mediocrity who have a nice resume, but they're one-timers, man. They hit a one-time deal. They busted open, got a lot of money, but they're good. You're mediocre now, man. What are you doing today, tomorrow, the next day? That's why I don't listen to theorists. I don't listen to all that bullshit. I listen to a mother who's like this, man. What's wrong, man? I'm tired, dude. Why are you tired? Because tomorrow, I got to do this again, man. Whatever it is that made me nauseous and sick to my stomach, it made me hurt. There's no ending. And that's the person I listen to. That's the person who's gained knowledge. You gain knowledge through suffering. And on the other end of suffering is a world that very few have ever seen. It's a beautiful world because that's where you find yourself. You don't find yourself in over here. You find yourself on the other end. Like the 100-mile race I was on, I ran it for 24 hours. I found myself on the other end of that. The world's in your mind. And that's what all that mediocrity is about. The mind has the tactical advantage over you at all times. At all times of your life, The mind has a tactical advantage over you. Why is that? It knows what you're afraid of. It knows your insecurities. It knows your deep, dark lies. And it starts to push you away from that. It pushes you in a direction that is comfortable. The mind controls everything. So what I realized was that when I was growing up and I was 300 pounds and I got all fat and I got all insecure, I realized that my mind kept taking me in this direction. When things got uncomfortable for me, when I was facing my insecurities, I was facing my fears, my mind said, oh no, we have a tactical advantage. We need to get you, separate you from this feeling over your life. It's all about feelings. We want the happy feeling. We don't want that feeling of this sucks. If in that moment, you can answer those tough questions and you are now in charge of your brain versus your brain ruling you, that's where all that stuff comes from. So the 40% rule is all of that. You get to 40%, your brain says, we're done. Let's roll, man. This is starting to get painful. This is uncomfortable. So you sit down. You have to figure out ways, and everybody's different. That's how the book kind of talks about, like we all have these things about, 5 steps to this and 4 steps to this. It's a lot more than that. That's all bullshit. It's a practice that you have to, it's a habit. So if you know that at 40%, I'm feeling pain. At 40%, I'm feeling pain. That's where the 40% rule kicks in. Now it starts. Okay, I'm feeling pain. My mind's saying all this to me. It's saying, get out of here, run, flee. The fight or flight kicks in. Okay, we're done. We're not good enough. It starts telling you all these things. You start to believe it because the mind controls all. This is the time where you have to gain control back of your mind. It's okay. Let me see if I can go 45%. And once you start giving yourself more and more hope and start realizing, okay, the mind starts to be, okay, what are you doing? We're supposed to be going right and you're going left. You start then controlling your mind. Start finding more in yourself. And then it goes from 40% to a lot further than that. But that's the start of it though. Get to the spot where your mind is saying stop. Wherever that is, you gotta get there first. And then that's when that starts to work for you. You gotta control yourself in that moment.
The British scientists discovered that we have a second brain.
All right, guys. What did you guys take away from Mr. David Goggins about that 7-minute clip of what he just talked about? Okay, so saying that, let me see here. Yeah. Control your mindset. Your mind controls everything. Push your limits. Don't let your fears define you. We love to stay in our comfort zones. Don't be comfortable with the small wins. Listen to the voices that push you. So, you guys. So what he's saying is the biggest enemy, right? The biggest enemy is ourself, right? Our harshest critic is ourself. How we talk to ourselves, or he says the mind has a tactical advantage at you at all times because it knows your deepest, darkest secrets. It knows your insecurities. It knows how to sway you away because your mind is built for survival, to help you survive. And so what he's saying is when we start to feel a little pain or when we start to feel a little uncomfortable with our insecurities, what he's saying is our mind then kicks in to say, hey, you know what? This isn't right. Let's get out of this. And what he's saying is the 40% rule. Okay, The 40% rule is when you feel that pain or you feel that suffering and you feel, you can't go any longer, you are only at 40% of your capacity. So what he's saying is when you challenge your thinking and you lean into those fears and you lean into those insecurities and you challenge yourself, let's see if we can go 45%. Let's see if we can go an extra 10%, 15%. That's how you start to get that mental toughness, right? And that's how you start to challenge your mind and challenge your thinking, and you take control of that, right? So ask yourself, in what areas are you letting your mind control you? What stories or fears or insecurities are you allowing to help to prevent you from getting to where you want to go, right? What he talks about is he ran a 100-mile race, and at 71 miles, he had cracked his shins. He had broke both feet, I believe. And he still ran the other 30 miles. David Goggins, the guy who was just talking. So what that tells you is when you think you're at 100%, you're not. All right. And what you guys will start to learn when you start implementing, you're feeling, you feel like you're tired, you're feeling some pain, and you just tell yourself and remind yourself, I'm only at 40% of my capacity. You'll start to kick in another window. You'll start to kick in another gear, and you'll start to feel the shift. And if you practice that daily and just trying to go a little bit harder, go a little bit longer, you're challenging yourself, right? You're breaking that pattern. He said, on the other end of suffering is greatness, right? That's why he's saying, everybody wants to feel happy. Everybody wants to feel great. It's really when you don't feel like doing things or when you're not feeling your best and you push through that. On the other side of that is greatness, right? What he's saying is on the other side of that is greatness. On the other side of suffering is greatness, right? And it has to do with controlling your mind. And we talked about this, this business, what we're growing is the mental aspect of it, right? So some of the things we can really focus on to help us with those capacities is some key areas, right? Your personal growth. We should all be having our personal growth or our personal growth plan, right? Your leadership. Now, leadership gives you the ability to influence other individuals, and that's in business, that's in your life, that's your kids, that's your family, right? Communication. Communication, guys, equals wealth. How many times have you had a conversation or you think you're talking to somebody, but you guys aren't really communicating, right? Your ideas are not getting across to them clearly. They're not understanding you. There's some mix-up. You guys might have had a conversation, and both of you guys took two different takeaways from that. If we can work on our personal growth because of our capacity, we can intake more. That means our business will grow. If we work on our leadership, which helps influence and guiding people to a desired goal, and work on our communication, which is clearly identifying what our goals, what we're looking to accomplish, it's going to help it's going to drive your real estate empire. So these things are going to help you with that 40% rule. It's going to help you with that mental game. All right, you're constantly working on yourself, constantly working on your leadership, your communication. Right? A lot of the times, if you notice, somebody will text you something and you have to ask them, what are you talking about? And it takes 4 or 5 text messages to figure out what that means. Right? So if we're clearly communicating, we take the time for that. We're constantly growing and working on our leadership. Guys, that's the golden ticket. Okay. Any takeaways or any thoughts or comments on that? And so these are the key areas I focus on, and I want you guys to be aware of, because I took them from some very high level individuals. Okay. Knowledge and suffering. Listen to the voices that push you. Okay. So, how many of you guys were on the Founders webinar tonight? Okay, is awesome. Great job. It was a really good call. Was there anybody that wasn't on it? I guess I should ask. Seems like almost everybody was on there. Okay. So it was a really good call. If you weren't able to get on, I highly recommend you go and watch the recording. Okay, we have a lot of big things coming up that you guys need to be aware of. That's going to really help you guys grow your business. Right? So what's coming out is, let me see my pen. So we have Helios, which will be coming out. After Nationals. So Nationals are going to do a whole training on it. So what that means is there will be no more Business Center. So the Business Center is so let me show you guys what this looks like. Oops. So the Business Center is what you guys normally log into, right? So this is your Business Center. This will no longer be available after March 30th. Okay. So what that means is we have about 30 days to prepare ourselves. Okay. What we will be having is Helios, which is this login button down here. So if you guys don't have a Helios yet, we're going to be talking about that. And this is where everything is going to be ran out of. Okay. So what that means is with that is going to also come a price increase. So there's going to be a price increase from $500 to $5,000. After Nationals. So as soon as Helios rolls out, there's going to be a price increase in the business. Okay, let me see. Will every class that's been watched be transferred to Helios? What do you mean, Kenny?
No. Well, Dick?
Yeah.
Yeah, just to hop on, figure you hear me. Well, you know when you watch your classes, it records that you've watched them.
Yeah.
It shows all those classes that you watched, that we all watched, or whoever has watched in the Business Center, will all those be transferred over to Helios? Because I know they're not showing now.
No.
At least on mine, they're not showing.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be. And also what you guys will see here is the progress of what you watched.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The progress.
Yeah, nope, it's not going to transfer over. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, no, it won't be transferred over. And you guys should actually be watching all your classes through Helios now already. Because you can also take notes in here, right? You see I have all these notes on these classes. And then there's the learning paths. And then what I'm going to actually be able to see is who's watching their classes and who's not. So it's going to be really cool. So no, it won't be. So what everybody is going to have to do is there's a lot of big things that are rolling out that are going to come with this. And I've already contacted a few of you. Every time we have a price increase, this gives us a huge opportunity for us to grow our team. Okay, last time there was a price increase, the system pretty much got shut down because of how many orders we put in the system. So I reached out to a few of you, and I'm going to tell you guys this now. We're going to be hitting it very hard in the month of March because we want to save as many people as we can this $500 to $5,000, right? If you heard about, or if you listen to Richard Stock, it's really about helping people out. And I truly want to save people from having to spend more money than they have to, right? And what that's going to cause is that urgency he talked about, and it's going to really help. It's going to really drive a lot of sales. So if what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be working with some of you guys, most of you guys, who do the homework, right? There's going to be specifications for me. I'm going to be making calls with you, driving your guests, really focus on getting you guys qualified and putting income in your pocket, because this is going to drive, we're planning on having a very, very, very big month in the month of March and going forward, because Helios is going to automate a lot of your marketing, and it's going to automate a lot of the things to help you grow your business. Now, remember, guys, when it comes to marketing, you're helping people save $500,000 to $200,000 of interest on their house payment. You're building a team. You're changing people's lives. You're changing the direction of their life. And then the more people we have on the team, the more deals, the more resources, the more real estate. All right. And I've told you guys this before, got a lot of private lenders and a lot of real estate deals from the marketing and just being able to help people. So we really want to save people this money. And what's crazy is people will spend $20,000 to save $5,000. That's just how it goes. That's just how we're built. Right. And so understanding human psychology, we really got to hit this hard. So I called a few of you, and I'm going to be making calls with you guys 2 to 3 times a week, because it's going to be a lot of people, probably the 10 of us on here, if you're not qualified, right? And whoever's your upline. So if Mr. Mark Andres is your upline, he'll be making the calls with you. So we can make sure that we get everybody the attention, because we really want to get everybody qualified to get some income in your pocket, let Nationals pay for itself, and then continue that trend. Okay. So I'm going to let you guys know the requirements. If you want to be hitting the marketing hard, make $500 to $1,000 to $10,000 in the month of March, grow your team, grow your awareness, help more people out. There's some few things that I'm requiring everybody to do if you're going to get that one-on-one time. Now, first thing is, and then we're going to talk about a few other things. So the first thing is, it's 100% effort and commitment. I'm going to put in the effort. I expect the effort. 120% effort, right? We're committing to this process in the next 30 days, calling it a 30-day blitz. And we're really going to hit this hard, and everybody should be getting qualified, okay, who's putting in the work. I'm really focused more on the effort than the results, because I know if we continue the efforts, the results will come. I will work with you and work with you guys. We're all a team. We're going to be doing this together. We're going to do a few different things as a group as well. If the effort's there. If the effort is not there, and you don't follow some of these guidelines, we're just going to not work on a one-on-one level, right? And that's fine. So I just want the commitment from everybody, the effort, because we want to drive business, right? And we want to see everybody putting in the same effort, because it's your business, right? But I'm here to help and do it with you guys. So some of the things you guys have to do is all calls and events must be attended. I mean, it's not even a question. You have to be on the founder's call. You got to be on the team calls. You got to be at the cash flows. You got to be at Hughes' event coming up, Garrett Gunderson's event coming up, whatever's going on in Sacramento. We're talking about the next 30 days, right? It's not a lot of events, right? You should be doing this anyway, but it's mandatory. You have to be plugged into what's going on with the company. You got to be plugged in what's going on with the team. You got to be driving people to the events. This is an event-driven business. So if you are on the webinar, the desire is to get people to an event, to help them out so they can see it. You guys, we're not the answer. The events are. All right, Hughes coming out. He's the guy. We're not. We're just filling seats. Garrett Gunderson, he's the guy. We're not. We're just filling seats. Okay? And so that's mandatory. All calls, all events, okay? Homework must be completed. That's a HW. Homework must be completed, and we're going to talk about that. Very simple. It's very easy, guys. We're not going to make this hard. We're going to be very simple, and it's going to be very easy. So what that looks like is the homework is simple. You have to go through your Helios training. Mark is going to put this in the link, the Helios training link. I think he's going to put it into the group me chat right now. You got to watch it. It is a few hours, so if you have to break it up, do it. But it's going to take you step by step on setting up your Helios, what to be aware of, and all those different types of things. Okay? So one, you're gonna watch the Helios, or two, you're gonna watch the Helios link. Okay, so you're gonna get your Helios set up. Remember, we're not using the business center after the 30th, so you got to get acclimated to it right now. Okay. 3. So you have to make a list, and for those, and these are going to be the people we're going to call. So you're going to make a list of current people who are interested, past people who are interested or right on the fence, and then also your warm market. Okay. I want a list of at least 75 people. Now, what that means is we're going to do 2 or 3 times a week, depending on how we're going to figure out the scheduling, and I'm going to make these calls with you. Okay, we're going to call them up. I'm going to talk to them. You're going to talk to some of them. I can hear how you're talking. You can hear how I'm talking. And we're going to do some 3-way calls. So, we'll be hitting this together. Okay, you have to have a list of at least 75 people. You guys use your phone, trust me, you'll easily have 75 people. Okay? And you have to have this done by next Monday. Which is the 4th. And then we're going to go in the details of how we're going to do the scheduling and all that. But probably 2 or 3 hours a week with each one of you guys. We could do 20 phone calls in an hour, right? Figure that out. There's a few of you guys, so I got to figure out how we're going to split this up. But we're going to be banging out, and this is going to be some really hands-on training. So you're not going to do it alone. You're going to hear my scripts. We're going to do it together. I'm going to have you just do some. I'm going to do some. We're going to do them together, and we're going to really hit it hard because we ultimately know this doesn't come out around very often. The price increase, I don't know when I got started, guys, there was 30 classes. There's 60, and he hasn't increased the price. So that just shows you the value that Bob Snyder is putting on, but we don't want to miss the boat. So coming up, starting next week, we'll start hitting this very hard. Okay, but you got to get this stuff done. So you got to watch your Helios link, and then you got to make your list. And then I want you guys to figure out 2 or 3 dates in the week, and then we're going to figure out how we can make our schedulings line up. I did create that Calendly link that I sent out to you guys' email. Did everybody get that? That link that you can schedule calls with me. It has been kind of acting a little funny. Kenny booked a call today, and it overbooked, so I got to still work that out. But we're going to be using that so you guys we can schedule these things out, right? So start looking at what's the best time for you to make phone calls. Is it right after work? Whatever that looks like, and what days. Okay, and then we're gonna have to configure it and work it together because I want to do this with you guys and really help you guys out. Because the only way this is gonna work is if we can duplicate it, right? So when we do this, you're going to be able to do this with your new team members that come on, and then their new team members, and then it starts to duplicate, and then you have a business, right? And now you're helping so many people, and you're creating a ripple. You got some income. You're doing real estate deals, paying off some credit, some debt, making some money, freeing up some cash flow, whatever that looks like for you guys, right? So we're keeping it very simple and easy. We just want the effort, all the events, and I want you to do these 2 things, the link and the list. The link in the list, and the effort. Now, who here is committing to doing this so I can get a configuration on me see. Yes. So if you're looking to do this, I need you to type this in the chat so I can get a head count, figure this out. So I'm not, so I just want to work with the people who want to do it, right? And who want to put in the effort. I don't want to push a rope. So it's completely okay with me if you don't want to do this. Like that's not a problem. That's okay, right? That's perfectly fine with me. I'm just letting you guys know what we are going to be doing, so you guys can plug in. Okay. I was having a few troubles with the Helios link, Kenny. Just refresh it. Try it again. Refresh it. Try it again. Right. Keep trying. I had to do it like 3 or 4 times. Okay. So it's pretty simple, pretty easy, right? My job is to prepare you, get you started, and then you got to do the reps. Okay. So any questions on that before we move forward? That's what we're doing. So I'll know if you want to do it, if you have this completed by next week. No questions. Okay. I like it. No questions, just work, baby. Now, okay, cool. So, what else? So if you guys were on the founders webinar, that was really good. Let me see. I took a lot of notes. So, okay, well, before we go into that, let's do this. So, upcoming events. So we got cash flow. Yes, first cash flow in like a month, which is the 27th. And then next Wednesday, March 6th, we got Hugh coming out. I need you guys all to register. It's $25, so you guys can help us out with the venue, and then all your guests are free. Okay. So go in there and register. It's in the calendar. $25, and then all your guests are free. Okay. And then what we're going to lead into is on March 9th, we're streaming Garrett Gunderson. Now this is going to be a phenomenal training. Garrett only talks for Renatus once, maybe twice a year. This guy is absolutely dynamic speaker. He only works with high-level network individuals. He only works with clients over $500,000 more a year. He's the best-selling author for What Would the Rockefellers Do? Basically creating a decentralized bank for your own family, right? So you guys are making your bank your own family, your own bank, on how the Rockefellers have been able to sustain the wealth, where the Vanderbilts, who had more money, lost it in 2 generations, right? So he's going to be talking about that, cash flow leaks. Let me see. I think I have. So Garrett Gunderson's is $30. Or 2 people for 40. So if you bring somebody, okay, it could be $20 each, right? Let me see. View. So here's what's cool. Find financial independence and create sustainable wealth and freedom with the information from this event. Safeguard your financial future and your family legacy with insurance planning, estate planning, savings structuring, asset protection. Conduct a financial health assessment. So you're going to be able to look at your financial health right now and what works and what doesn't. Determine where you may need for professional advisors to help you reach your goals. Using the 5 steps of wealth helps you evaluate your existing finances and teaches you. So he actually has formulas that he uses to show you which debts to pay off first, which debts to keep, which isn't hurting you. He's been on, TV shows, financial guy. He's an Inc. 500 company, which is the Wealth Factory. Very, very, very. He was a guest speaker one year at Renatus National Conference. So good that they decided to bring him on as an instructor. So this is an actual flyer you guys can use. You can see it says Saturday. It's March 9th, 8 a.m. We're going to have it the same spot. We're having Hughes event in Lathrop. So what I'll do is you guys can send this to your guest or anybody. Okay, so use that flyer and be able to utilize that. Okay, so cash flow, March 6th, March 9th. So we have a lot of events that we're going to be leading into. And then obviously we have Nationals, baby. And I believe Antoine's going, Tiffany's going, Pat's going, Mark and Leslie are going, Frank's going, I'm going, Kenny's probably going, right? And so this is going to be a freaking awesome month coming up. A lot of great things we can do to help drive our business, okay? Any questions on the events we have coming up so far? Good? Yes, I'm excited. And if you guys listen to the every year the national conference gets better. And what Bob was talking about, the things that they're going to be training on, they're going to be training on iOS. All day Saturday, they're going to talk about only money-making activities. They're going to have a lot of I want to sneeze. A lot of great things coming. So I'm freaking excited about it. Okay, so let me see. I had some notes written down from the. Okay, so we went over Helios. Okay, so one of the things he also talked about was the guest experience. So this is what we want to make sure we're doing for these events that we're going to be running. So we want to think about as a guest. Okay. So first thing he talked about was registration. Okay, so first impressions. So I believe Leslie typically does the registrations on cash flow. I'm going to need you guys, a few of you guys, to volunteer to help us with Hughes' event and also Garrett Gunderson. So you have to get there a little bit earlier. Making sure that registration is up, is running very clean and easily for the guests. Smiling, upbeat. He said being genuine, sincere, and happy. He says the greatest thing guests you can do for guests is to make them feel important, right? So we want to make sure our guests feel important. We do a pretty good job at that, but we want to just make sure we're continuing to do that and keep growing that. Just remember how it was when you came out to a first event, what you would like to see, what you would like to experience. Want to make them feel important. And what he said was really important. Guests will always remember how you made them feel, right? We only retain a certain amount of information from these events, but they will never forget how they feel or how you made them feel. All right, so let's keep that in mind. We do a pretty good job at doing that, and so that's but just something we want to constantly be aware of. Okay. Now, what you guys are also going to be have to remember, or what's going to be called upon you guys, is story time. That's what he called it. So we will be calling on a few of you guys to share your story. And no, he said no longer than 60 seconds. Okay. So I'm gonna write these key points because I want you guys to always be aware. Never know who I'm gonna call on. This is gonna help you with your growth, right? And your communication skills, your story. And stories is just what makes us relatable, because that's all we are. We're just people just like our guests, who've gone through trials and tribulations, who were looking at this opportunity before, and now we're here. What have we done since, and where we're going? Okay, so what he said was, these are the key points you guys want to hit on in your story. What were you doing before? Why did you start looking? What's happened since? Okay, now guys, you don't have to have this crazy, elaborate, depressing to high riches story. Very simple and easy, high level for 60 seconds. You know, what were you doing? What was your job? You know, what was the reason why you started looking? What made you happy? What made you unhappy, or what made you want something else? And then what has happened since? And a lot of people think that, you know, and I was one of them, that I had to do all these real estate deals and I had to do all this, and that's not really the case, right? What have you learned? How have you grown? What about the relationships in the community? Maybe you freed up some cash flow with the Velocity Banking. Maybe you saved money on taxes. Maybe you got a HELOC. Did you get in your first deal? So there's so many things that $200 to $500 a month in cash flow, or, you know, earning that back on your taxes, is a huge dramatic shift for people who are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, so all our stories are relatable to people, and we're going to be able to help them out even more. Okay, so what he also said was using words people can relate to, right? Living paycheck to paycheck, being overworked and underpaid, being stressed out, having sleepless nights, overwhelmed, having high anxiety. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll email you guys some of these words that you can implement and put in there, so that you guys can start practicing your stories. And this is going to be good when we're making these phone calls together and we're doing those different things. Okay. Now remember, guys, the goal when you guys are inviting people out and to this, right? You guys should each try to get 1 or 2 guests for these events. That's all you guys want to do. 1 or 2 guests for Hugh, 1 to 2 guests for Garrett. Okay, so let's talk about that. The desire he talked about is to get people to the events. And if you guys need to set up a call with me with somebody who wants to know more about it, or you have somebody who you think would really, really benefit from that, send me a text and let's set up a time and we can call them together. Because I really want to get people to these events and I really want to help you guys out. So don't hesitate to text me if you have a few people that you know would truly benefit from this. Reach out to me if you need help, and we can call them together. Okay. The desire is to get people to the events, right? Our intent is to help them. Help them with their taxes. Help them with Velocity Banking. Help them with the real estate. And he also said retirement. Okay. Now, he also talked about posture, which is release statements, which I'll also be sending you guys, and we're going to be using, because these are very powerful too. You know, if you feel like somebody is kind of giving you a hard time, you know, if they don't want to go, tell them, you know what, if you don't want to come, I don't want you to come either. Like, that's okay with me. If you don't want to save money on taxes, just tell me and just say no. It's okay. Right? So posturing up will give them that opportunity to say no, which most likely they'll lean back into it and say yes. So I'll also send out an email with that. So make sure if you guys, I've sent out a couple team emails. If you're not getting them, you need to check your spam or something of that sort, because I'm sending you stuff that you guys can use, okay? So I'll include these as well. And then he talked about urgency. So the urgency is, guys, we don't have Hugh Hugh comes out once or twice, maybe 3 times a year. Garrett Gunderson only talks for Renatus once or twice a year. So if you tell people that and you use that flyer I sent you so you guys can kind of practice on what the events are going to be about, 1 or 2 guests is all you guys need. Okay? So your goal is to get people to the event so we can help them with their taxes, their benefits, or their velocity banking, real estate. You know what? We let them, if they're giving us a lot of resistance, just let them know, hey, if you don't want to come, that's okay with me, right? We're posturing up on them. We're doing them a favor. And the urgency is that we only do these events once or twice a year. They have to be here. Okay, 1 or 2 guests, guys. And we'll have a nice packed room for Hugh. And he'll wanna keep coming. And that's the goal. And we're going to help you drive your business. So anybody that needs help, that you know that a couple people that could really benefit from this, send me a text and we can call them together. Okay. Any questions on that? Did I explain it clearly? If not, let me know and I can re-go over anything. The main thing is I want you guys to be super clear on anything. Any questions you have, please do not hesitate to ask. This time is for you. This time is to help us grow. This time is for us to get better. This time is for us to help to move forward. So anything you're unclear on, please let me know. Anything you feel like you need help in, please let me know. Now would be the time to ask. There's no dumb questions. Okay. I want you guys just to be clear on everything that we have going on. Post something on Facebook, right? Just post something on there. Just get some traction out there to get the word out, right? We're in a marketing business. If you guys aren't marketing, we're not going to be making no money. So we talked about the personal growth, the leadership, communication. We talked about the March Madness. Ooh, I like that. March Madness, baby. Antoine knows what's up. He a Duke fan over there. March Madness coming up. Okay. We have these phenomenal events. We have Cashflow. We have Hugh. We have Garrett Gunderson. Go register right away. Okay. We have Nationals. And then this will help you guys. Make sure you guys are working on your stories, because that's what people are going to want to know. Well, how's your experience been? Okay. Yeah, so I'll send that email out tonight with the release statements. I'll send out the DIPU. I'm going to write some notes. Anybody can attend nationals. So remember that. It's not just for people Renatus. They also want guests to come. So you can, if anybody who buys a ticket can go to nationals. Right? So, yeah. So I'm going to send email. All right, so you guys clear on everything that we have coming up? Because we got a lot of stuff coming up that we're going to be hitting hard. All righty, are you guys sure? Any questions? Now would be the time to ask. Any questions about nationals? Questions about, we have cash flow. Oh, Frank and Mr. Andres Mr. Mark will be running the Friday follow-up. I will not be available. So make sure you guys come out on Friday and show them love and support. We appreciate everything they're doing. And pretty soon we will be having a few of you guys who haven't ran cash flow before start running cash flow, because we are going to really be focusing on building everybody up, baby. Okay. So make sure you guys are listening to cash flow like you guys will be teaching it, as you will. All right. Are you guys sure you don't have nothing else? I'm more than happy to help you guys out. Yeah, so like I said earlier, Kenny, I'll work on that when we had our call. I'll put that on there. I gotta put some time and get it in. I gotta hire somebody to do it. But that will be coming, I promise. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a good night then. If there's nothing else. Let's have a great week. Don't forget Gavin's training tomorrow at 7. And then cash flow on Wednesday. All righty.